what he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him, more power.
Floyd Mayweather just unleashed a scathing critique of Jake Paul after Paul declined a fight with Conor McGregor. Jake has been carefully building his career by selecting older opponents and former UFC fighters, which has been a strategic move. However, when he rejected the McGregor bout, it was too much for Mayweather to stay silent. Mayweather's reaction was intense, calling out Paul in a display that was truly something to witness.
As long as he continued to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Mayweather, a legend known for building his career by fighting the best, didn't hesitate to call out Jake Paul for cherry-picking his opponents. Despite Jake's strategy of choosing older fighters, avoiding the bout with McGregor is a whole new level of cowardice, according to Mayweather.
For what he's doing, as long as they keep getting YouTubers and keep putting them in there with MMA guys, that's kind of over the hill.
Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed savior of boxing, claims to be single-handedly redefining the sport. However, his track record of carefully avoiding real challenges tells a different story. With his recent rejections of fights against Andrew Tate and Conor McGregor, Paul continues to show that his strategy is more about branding than bravery.
$50 million to bet with you, but I do have $3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes.
Andrew Tate, a former kickboxing champion with a big personality, is not one to back down from a fight. He even put $3 million in cash on the table for Jake Paul to step into the ring. But Jake strategically declined. Why? Because it's too risky. Why face someone who actually knows how to fight when you can keep taking swings at retired athletes? Then there's Conor McGregor, a name practically synonymous with combat sports. Yet, Jake decided to shut that door too. His excuse: something about weight classes and claiming McGregor is too scared, really.
Amanda, Katie,
gigantic.
Conor, Jake. That's how Croke Park gets done. Because you need Conor. You need Conor.
Conor,
God, Jake.
You gave me chills. But it's
Conor,
not.
Jake.
Man, last time I checked, McGregor has been in the UFC, fighting some of the baddest men on the planet. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's biggest claim to fame is knocking out a former basketball player and an M&A guy who probably hadn't thrown a punch in years.
Doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him, more power.
But wait, it gets better. Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated legend who's not just great at boxing, but also great at calling people out. And when it comes to Jake Paul, Floyd isn't holding back.
Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost. So if you can keep fighting 50-something.
He straight up called Jake a cherry picker, accusing him of only facing opponents he knows he can beat, like Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, and a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Floyd sees right through the act, and honestly, who doesn't at this point?
Fight, and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled head.
Now, after dodging McGregor and taking even harder hits from Floyd, he's not just criticizing Jake's fight choices. He's going after his entire career strategy. Floyd's calling out this kid for making a mockery of boxing, and honestly, he's right. While Floyd built his legacy by fighting the best, Jake's out here doing whatever he can to avoid real competition. It's like comparing filet mignon to a microwaved hot dog.
Is that people, for whatever stupid reasons, they underestimate him because of what his background was. And they think there's no way that some guy who became famous off of you.
We're talking about these fight contracts now. Jake reportedly used ones with clauses that supposedly limit his opponents. If that's true, it's game over for any remaining shred of credibility he had left. Because if you're writing the rules to ensure you don't lose, then guess what? You're not really fighting, you're just playing.
Someone you're interested in or no?
Well, if you go back, you gotta do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd doesn't even need to step into the ring with Jake to take him down. His words alone are enough to shatter Jake's carefully crafted image. Floyd embodies everything Jake isn't: discipline, skill, and a legacy earned through hard work. When Floyd calls you out, the entire boxing world takes notice.
As long as they keep getting YouTubers and keep putting them in there with MMA guys, that's kind of over the hill, he's gonna continue.
Now Jake's cornered. He's either too scared or, as he puts it, too strategic to face real threats. He's been publicly roasted by Floyd Mayweather, mocked by Conor McGregor, and rejected by fans tired of the circus act. The real question isn't if Jake will ever fight a legitimate opponent. It's whether his career can survive without all the smoke and mirrors.
X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago.
Take the Mike Tyson fight, for example. Rumors are circulating that there was a clause preventing Tyson. Yes, Iron Mike throwing certain punches. Tyson, a man who's probably knocked out more people than Jake, has a fan base on his third-tier TikTok account. Yet he's being restricted.
That he was making the money he says he's making, Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and Showtime would have made sure they kept paying.
Let's talk about why these allegations sting so much. Jake's entire brand, his whole persona, is built on being the rebel, the underdog, the guy who fights his way to the top. If it turns out his fights are rigged, even just a little, that entire narrative collapses faster than his dignity at a Floyd press conference. It's not boxing anymore, it's performance art with boxing gloves.
Now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Fans are starting to notice that the whispers about controlled outcomes are turning into full-blown shouts. People are beginning to question whether Jake is even capable of a real fight, or if every opponent is handpicked to keep his undefeated record intact. If the allegations are true, Jake's already fragile credibility could be heading for a total collapse.
It's clear to me you are desperate for a reality.